tomorrow.
Yep.
I want you to listen, Caitlin. This is Senator Collins. She delivered a speech, went on about 45 minutes on the Senate floor. Listen to this.
The presumption of innocence and fairness do bear on my thinking, and I cannot abandon them. In evaluating any given claim of misconduct, we will be ill-served in the long run if we abandon the presumption of innocence and fairness, tempting though it may be. We must always remember that it is when passions are most inflamed that fairness is most in jeopardy.
How do you interpret that?
Safe to say that passions have been inflamed over the last few weeks, but she's really making the argument that the White House and Kavanaugh supporters have been making for the last 2 weeks, and that's that they believe that right now we've been existing under this world where you're guilty until you're proven innocent. That's exactly what they thought had happened to their nominee. That's what they decried every day, sending out a dozen White House officials constantly to say the same thing, to say that he has denied these allegations. How does that not count as much as her testifying that he did this? So the White House is likely really happy to hear that. They felt pretty confident all along that they were going to have Senator Susan Collins in their pocket. They also thought, though, that they were going to have Lisa Murkowski be a yes vote as well. So I do think that it put the White House on edge today when they heard Lisa Murkowski say that she was going to be a no on Kavanaugh, because they thought maybe that could sway Senator Susan Collins as well. But as we're seeing there today, of course, she made that yes decision. She came to that on her own. But she's echoing exactly what Kavanaugh supporters have been saying.
You know, it's interesting, Susan, that she seemed so assured of her position throughout that 45-minute speech, as if she had no doubt at all. But she waited for a long time. As Caitlin says, she kept everyone, including her fellow Republicans, on edge, wondering what she was going to do.
Right, so Senator Collins said she actually made up her mind yesterday. Based on that speech today, that's pretty difficult to believe. She sounded overwhelmingly sure. You know, I think what happened here was she thought that that by keeping an open mind, or at least pretending to keep an open mind, she was going to allow a process to unfold. And this process was going to maybe tamp down on some of the tension, give additional confidence to the American people so that this nominee would be sort of less contentious. I really think that backfired on her because the FBI investigation was so unsatisfactory, because of the heightened drama that actually her waiting caused. I think what ended up happening is, instead of bolstering the institutional legitimacy of the Supreme Court, not only is the legitimacy of the court harmed, but that of the United States Senate and the FBI as well.
Immediately after she finished her speech, Sabrina, Joe Manchin walked into the hall over in the Senate. As protesters were screaming and shouting at him, "Shame on you, shame on you," he announced his support for Kavanaugh.
Yes, and I think that Joe Manchin, frankly, much like Susan Collins, was from the outset in a position of wanting to get to yes. And I think that this FBI investigation, disputed as it is, gave him and Collins and some of those who were on the fence an opportunity to ultimately back. But the Democratic base, without question, is going to be furious at Joe Manchin. Having said that, Donald Trump won West Virginia by more than 40 points. And although Manchin is comfortably ahead in most polls of his challenger, Patrick Morrisey, I think there was a real sense that this Kavanaugh nomination, in the same way that his energized organizers and progressives, also had riled up factions of the Republican base. And I think that's very much the political calculation, whether his party likes it or not, that Joe Manchin had in mind when he came to this decision.
He was a popular governor, popular senator, and he looks like he's in pretty good shape right now. Everybody stand by. There's more we need to report on and discuss. We're going to take a closer look past tomorrow's final showdown vote on Judge Kavanaugh. After such a bitter confirmation fight, how will the other